Under the purple sunset sky of Seattle, I, Emily Carter, hurried out of the pharmacy department of Central Northwest Hospital after a long and stressful day. I pulled my phone from the pocket of my white blouse and glanced at the screen. A message appeared from my husband, Daniel. "I'll be home a little late. The project is in the final stages. Love you." I smiled. Daniel was as thoughtful as he had been when I first met him 8 years earlier at a scientific conference in Chicago. I had just graduated, and Daniel, a biomedical researcher, had been invited to be the keynote speaker. We had connected over science, ideals, and a strange sense of empathy. After all, I still couldn't believe that I, a girl who grew up in a normal working-class family in Tacoma, was now the wife of such a talented and kind man. If anything marred that peaceful life, it was my mother-in-law, Lorraine. As I got into the car and started the engine, the phone rang again. The name Lorraine flashed on the screen, making me hesitate. I took a deep breath and answered, "Yes, I hear you, Mother Lorraine." Her voice rang out, cold as the first snow of the season. "Emily, I'm calling about Vanessa's wedding rehearsal dinner. I don't think you should come. I want it to be a family affair." My heart sank. Again? Vanessa, Daniel's sister, was getting married next week. From the start, I had been left out of every aspect of the planning. No one had asked for my opinion on the flowers, the music, or the guests. It was as if I didn't exist. "What about Daniel?" I tried to keep my voice soft. "I will talk to her. You are busy too, with hospital work." Her words hissed through the phone, venomous but sugar-coated. I squeezed the steering wheel lightly, trying not to react. "I understand." I hung up, my heart heavy. Lorraine was a woman straight out of a classic novel, powerful, wealthy, and willing to trample on anyone who displeased her. I knew she had never liked me. A small-town pharmacist who was not worthy of the prestigious Whitmore family. Daniel's sister, Vanessa, was worse. She looked at me as if I were an indelible stain on their family's pristine white wedding dress. No matter how many times I was offended, I kept quiet for Daniel. He always said, "They will understand you." But I began to understand that there are people who never want to understand. That night, when I got home to my apartment, there was an envelope on the table, a wedding invitation. On the cover was a picture of Vanessa smiling brightly next to Lucas, the son of a prominent East Coast real estate family. I turned it over. A small piece of paper, Daniel. "Mom came to deliver the card. She asked me. I said you were working. Love you." I sighed. How could I explain to Daniel what it felt like to be disrespected in his own home? Lately, I've started to notice something unusual. One day while shopping with my mother-in-law, I happened to see in her shopping basket some herbs and compounds I'd only seen in a toxicology lab. My professional instincts kicked in. Plus, she's been looking at me lately, as if she's waiting for something to happen. I looked at the wedding date printed on the invitation. Something was wrong, and I had to do something. The next day, I went to see my best friend, Chris, who worked at the hospital cafeteria and was also Daniel's college friend. I pulled him aside and said in a low voice, "You're going to be a waiter at Vanessa's wedding, right?" Daniel nodded. "Yes, Daniel's mother hired you." "What's wrong?" I looked around, making sure no one heard. "I have a bad feeling. If you can, please change the drink for me, just mine. Don't let anyone notice." Chris looked at me, surprised at first, then nodded seriously. "I understand. I'll keep an eye out." "Is that true?" "Just intuition. My profession as a pharmacist is sensitive like that." "Okay. You are Daniel's friend, and someone I love. If anything, I will always be by your side." I thanked with eyes full of gratitude. Wedding day. I woke up early, my heart as tense as a bowstring. I tried on dresses and fixed my hair many times, but this morning still felt unsettled. Daniel walked up and hugged me from behind. "You are beautiful as a dream." He placed a gentle kiss on my cheek. Today is Vanessa's big day. Let's enjoy it, okay? I nodded, trying to smile, but a feeling of unease still lingered in my heart. We arrived at the Fairmont Olympic Hotel in downtown Seattle, the most luxurious hotel in the city. As we entered the grand lobby, filled with golden lights, I held Daniel's hand tightly. Inside the ballroom, evening gowns, tuxedos, and the clinking of champagne glasses filled the air. As we entered, I felt eyes scanning me from all directions. There were whispers and soft laughter. I held my head high and tried to walk with dignity. A receptionist asked as we approached the reception desk. "Your names?" "Daniel and Emily Carter Whitmore," Daniel replied. The staff looked at the list, slightly confused. "Ah, yes. Here you are. You two sit at table number 18 in the corner." I looked at the map, the furthest table, almost next to the service aisle. I turned to Daniel, who squeezed my hand gently. "Maybe it's just a misarrangement." But then the employee whispered, "Sorry, this is a direct request from Mrs. Lorraine." I looked at Daniel, his face gradually tensed. But he lowered his voice. "It's Vanessa's day. I don't want to cause trouble. Are you okay?" I nodded. "Because of you, I will be fine." As soon as she entered the main area, Lorraine seemed to have emerged from underground, her purple silk dress sparkling, her smile cold. "Emily, you know how to choose a dress today?" "Good. At least it's not too embarrassing." She glanced at me from head to toe. "Even though it's a bit monotonous. But well, with your conditions, that's already a good effort." Daniel squeezed my hand and was about to say something, but I pressed his hand lightly. "Thank you. Today will be very unforgettable." She smiled. "Of course. A proud ceremony for the Whitmore family." She turned to Daniel. "The main table is for Vanessa's friend. You two sit separately, I hope you understand." Daniel frowned. "But I am the bride's brother. Today is Vanessa's day. Let me have everything perfect." We were pushed back to a table against the wall. As soon as we sat down, Lorraine turned around and said loudly enough for the whole table to hear, "This table was originally reserved for family nearby. But Mom begged the hotel to make room for Emily. Be grateful." A few customers looked at me and smiled faintly. I felt my cheeks burning, but I kept my head up and kept my composure. Daniel looked like he was about to stand up and confront her, but the music started. The ceremony began. I swallowed all my anger. This was their stage, and I was just a bystander playing a supporting role in my own life. The wedding reception began. The waiters began serving the toasts. I still hadn't seen Chris, but I trusted him. A young waiter brought a glass of champagne to our table. As soon as the glass was placed in front of me, I stopped. The scent was faint, but off. As a pharmacist, I knew this wasn't normal. The color of the wine was also cloudy. I put down the glass, my palms cold. Daniel tilted his head. "What's wrong?" "This smell is not normal. Smells a bit strange. You're overthinking things. I always get nervous when I see your mother." And then, before I could react, Daniel picked up the glass and took a sip. At that moment, from the other table, Lorraine jumped up as if electrocuted. "Don't drink that glass." The sound echoed throughout the hall. All eyes turned to us. Daniel looked at his mother, embarrassed. "What's wrong, Mom?" "Oh, no, it's just, I thought that was my glass." Daniel shrugged and put down his glass. "No problem. It's delicious." Lorraine was stunned. Vanessa also glared at us, clearly panicking. Why is nothing happening? I quietly reached into my purse, took out a small glass tube, and discreetly poured some alcohol into it. The atmosphere in the room seemed to hang in the air. But as Daniel continued to laugh and talk happily, everyone gradually returned to the party. I continued to watch Lorraine and Vanessa. They were no longer smiling. They were whispering, glancing at me with worried eyes. Not long after, Chris quietly approached me while carrying dessert. Not long after, Chris quietly approached me while carrying dessert. I changed the glasses as you told me, only yours. He leaned over and lowered his voice. Before the party started, I saw Vanessa approaching your table, doing something with her wine glass. I widened my eyes. Thanks. That's enough. As the party wound down, guests began to leave. Daniel and I stood up to leave. Lorraine and Vanessa kept their distance. No greetings, no eye contact. In the hotel lobby, Daniel tried to move in to say goodbye, but I gently stopped him. Let's talk clearly tomorrow. I'm tired. Arriving home, Daniel sat down on the chair and rubbed his forehead. Mom and Vanessa were terrible, but at least the ceremony went well. I sat down next to him, my voice lowered. Daniel, we need to talk about the wine. Are you still thinking about it? Mom was just a little panicked, but nothing happened. I took a sample and I will have it tested. The next morning, I brought the sample to the hospital lab. Jennifer, the technician, and my friend took it. A moment later, she called me back to the lab, her face serious. This is no ordinary wine. There are traces of atropine, small but dangerous. I held the results, my hands shaking slightly. It wasn't an accident, it was intentional. That afternoon, I spread the test results out on the table. Daniel knew something was wrong as soon as he saw my face. What did you find? I pushed the paper towards him. That glass contains atropine. Even though it's not enough to kill you, if you drink the whole glass? He turned pale. Oh my God. Mom? Vanessa? No way. Looking at their reaction yesterday, what do you think? He was silent. I continued. Tomorrow we will meet them. Early in the morning. Don't give them time to react. Daniel looked at me, silent for a moment, then softly. You're so calm. If I were you? I looked at him, eyes steady. I tried to be accepted, but now I understand. What I need is respect. And that is you. The next morning, we arrived at Lorraine's villa. Daniel knocked on the door. The butler, Mr. Graham, opened the door, slightly surprised. Daniel, Emily, Mrs. Lorraine is still having breakfast. We need to see her. It's urgent, Daniel said. We were ushered into the living room, a place that exuded all the luxury, pressure, and coldness of the Whitmore house. Portraits of ancestors hung on the walls, a place where I always felt like an outsider. A moment later, Lorraine appeared in a silk robe, carefully made up. She was momentarily stunned when she saw us, but quickly regained her composure. Why are you so early? Wasn't the party great yesterday? Daniel looked at his mother, his voice serious. What did you put in Emily's glass of wine? What? What did you say? Stop pretending. I put the test results on the table. The wine sample showed atropine. Not enough to kill someone, but enough to put you in the hospital if you drank it all. Lorraine's face paled. Just then, Vanessa walked in. What's up? Daniel looked at his sister. We're talking about putting poison in Emily's wine. Vanessa glared at her mother. Lorraine fell back in her chair. Ever since she came into this house, everything has been a mess. You should have married someone more decent, not a small-town pharmacist like her. Daniel was shaking with anger. Emily is a good, dedicated, and intelligent pharmacist. You should respect the person I have chosen to spend the rest of my life with. Lorraine is sarcastic. Whitmore bloodline. Don't you see that your children will be half of a lowly bloodline? Do you intend to let the family's reputation be dragged down by a girl of no origin? I clenched the test papers tightly, looked up, and looked straight at her. So what is the real reason you want to get rid of me? Don't beat around the bush. She glanced at Vanessa. She nodded slightly, almost reluctantly. Lorraine sighed. Vanessa has a close friend, Julia, of noble birth, graduated from Ivy League, family with political tradition. Julia is the right person for Daniel. If it weren't for her, things would be much easier. Daniel was stunned. Do you want me to leave my wife to follow the person you choose? Are you planning on dictating my future like that? Vanessa stepped forward, her voice choked. It was both my mom and I's plan. But we didn't expect you to drink. If Emily drank, maybe. I looked straight at them. If I weren't a pharmacist, if I wasn't vigilant, I would probably be in the hospital today. My mother despised my profession, but it was that profession that saved me. Daniel turned to his mother and sister, his eyes cold as ice. I cannot forgive this. Mom, Vanessa, from today I cut off all ties. Daniel turned to his mother and sister, his eyes cold as ice. Lorraine sobbed. I am your son. I can't do that, Daniel replied, his voice cold. Family is more than blood. Family is love and respect. Emily is my real family. Vanessa also burst into tears. I just want you to be happy. Happiness by poisoning your wife? Don't deceive yourself. This is a crime. I put my hand on Daniel's hand. We won't call the police. To keep your family's honor. But if Mom or Vanessa interferes with our lives again, I'll hand over all this evidence. Daniel stood up. Goodbye, Mom. This may be the last time we see each other. Vanessa called after him. Why don't you call the police? You have the right. I turned back, eyes silent. Because I love Daniel, and because this chain of hatred needs to stop here. I don't want my unborn child to grow up surrounded by hatred. 1 year later, in an American country-style house in the suburbs of Kirkland, spring sunshine filled the cozy kitchen. I was making coffee when Daniel hugged me from behind. Good morning. Did you sleep well? Thanks to you. After that incident, Daniel moved to do research at a small but promising pharmaceutical company. He completely cut off his relationship with his mother and sister. I continued working at the hospital. We lived peacefully, close, and trusted each other more than ever. You have a pregnancy checkup today, okay? I reminded. Daniel placed his hand on my belly. Only 3 months, but every day I could clearly feel the presence of the little creature inside. It's still hard to believe. He smiled gently. 3 weeks ago, I whispered to him. We're going to have a baby, Daniel. He held me for a long time, saying nothing, just smiling silently through his tears. News of the truth about the wedding spread quickly among the upper class. Vanessa's fiancé, Lucas, broke off the engagement soon after. Rebecca withdrew from all social activities. Lorraine lived alone in a large mansion, lonely and quiet. One morning, Daniel held an envelope in his hand. Another letter from Mom. He put it aside. Maybe. Someday I will read it, but not now. That evening we received a call from the hospital. Lorraine was admitted in critical condition. Should I go? Daniel asked. I held his hand. I will go with you. Whatever you choose, I will support you. We arrived at the hospital. Lorraine was pale and haggard, her once proud face lined with fatigue. She cried, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want to see you guys once. I replied softly, I have forgiven, but trust takes time to rebuild. On the way back, I turned to Daniel. Let's teach our children to love, not hate. Daniel looked at me, eyes warm. It was your tolerance that saved me from the darkness of this family. 2 weeks later, we found out it was a girl. We named her Hope. I held my stomach and smiled. Let this generation begin with healing, not revenge.